What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you guys for joining the special panel debate we had yesterday. It was a little bit chaotic than I had hoped for, so I'm still trying to learn how I want to go about things. I still want to I mean, please check that out. Please check that live out, okay? But I'm still trying to figure out how I want to go about things. I mean, do I want to create a panel, like a bunch of people talking about a topic, or do I want to debate people? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. So I'm on the fence on how I want to go about it. I mean, it's not like I'm, an amazing debater, or debater at all. So I'm not like craving to debate someone, but sometimes I feel like I want to. Maybe it's my restlessness. I want to have a little bit more of intellectual conversation with people, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. So we'll see. We'll see. But we have some videos tonight to react to. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you guys like it. I just saw this video, unplanned, right? Unplanned, that I want to check it out. So let's start with this one, right? Let's start with this one. This was an interesting one, right? It's, do women really have it harder? This is an AI debate, anti-feminism versus feminism. So I don't know if this is good or not. The comments are a little bit, saying it might not be that great. So let's check it out.
Most powerful AI models to create two characters, a feminist advocate and an anti-feminist. We put these two characters head-to-head in a debate to discuss the most important gender-related issues of today's world. We also asked 5 AI models to score the arguments as judges. The debate starts with this question: do we live in a patriarchal society?
Men are killing themselves at 4 times the rate of women. They're falling behind in every level of education, from elementary through graduate school. Men make up 93% of workplace deaths, 80% of suicides, and 70% of the homeless. If we lived in a male-dominated society that favored men, these numbers would be impossible. When a man loses his job, he's seen as a failure. When he can't...
Now, do we live in a patriarchal society? It is very, this is a thing where I would love to say this, where it's very skewed. Laughing Man, what's up, my brother? What's up? No, I haven't taken a look at it. Busy, very busy, working and stuff. I will take a look. I have Discord on my phone, right? I have Discord on my phone, so I will, find some time if I have it to look at those videos. So, but please send them, right? Please send them, and I'll definitely check them out. It's all good. It's all good, my brother. It's all good. Okay, so the question was, do we live in a patriarchal society? It's very skewed, right? It's very skewed thing where you think people like to say that it's a society made for men. I don't believe it so, because men are at the bottom of almost every metric. Men are at the bottom of almost every metric. So I believe it's made for the select few. Okay, the select few. Just so happens the select few are men. It doesn't mean that it's made for men. Okay, it's just made for the select few to succeed, and that select few is usually, the ruthless, the wealthy, the powerful. So I wouldn't say that society is in a way made for men. Now it is, yeah, men are in charge, okay, but not. See, this is the thing where it's hard, right? I want to say men. It's a select few men. So that's the caveat. I always hate people don't really mention, because here's the thing: when you say men, you mean the majority at least, but in reality, it's not. It's rarely the majority. So that's why I disagree with that kind of premise.
Can't provide, he's worthless. Women get sympathy and support systems. Men get told to man up. The draft still exists, only for men. Family courts award custody to mothers 80% of the time. Men work the dangerous jobs that keep society running while being told they're privileged oppressors. This isn't patriarchy. It's male disposability.
We asked 5 AI
I love that. Male disposability. Isn't now because patriarchy is very weird, okay? Yes, men are at the top. But again, it isn't all men. It isn't all men that are at top. It just so happens it's skewed towards men because men make up the top. But again, most men don't benefit.
models to evaluate both sides based on 7 criteria, giving each response a score from 0 to 10. Here are the scores the judges gave for the first response.
Average, 6.7. Total, 6.7.
Why?
Those male suicide rates? They're largely because men refuse to seek help, a direct result of toxic masculinity telling them emotions are weakness. Women attempt suicide more but use less lethal methods. Meanwhile, women earn 77 cents for every dollar men make, hold only 8% of Fortune 500 CEO positions, and make up just 27% of Congress despite being 51% of the population. Every day, 3 women are murdered by intimate partners. You're pointing to symptoms of a system that hurts everyone while ignoring who actually holds institutional power. Men dominating dangerous jobs isn't oppression. It's because women were historically barred from most careers, and the effects still linger today through social conditioning.
Average, 7.1. Total, 7.1.
What? That doesn't even what? How's that? How's that a better score?
That 77-cent statistic is garbage. It compares all women to all men without accounting for hours worked, career choices, or experience. Single childless women in cities actually out-earn men. Women choose psychology and social work. Men choose engineering and finance. That's not discrimination. That's preference. And you're proving my point about male disposability. When men kill themselves more effectively, somehow that's their fault for not seeking help. Women get endless mental health resources, while male depression is ignored. 3 women murdered daily sounds horrific until you realize men are murdered at triple the rate overall. You're cherry-picking female victimhood while ignoring that men are the primary victims of violence. Period.
I love that one. I love that one. This is a thing where let me say this. I honestly believe controversial opinion, right? Therapy. I believe therapy isn't geared towards men. How it's implemented, how it's comes across, it isn't geared towards men. It isn't geared towards helping men. In my sense, that here's the thing where, I'm not trying to say that. Oh man, what a bot! That's who it is. This is a thing where, yeah, it is a bot. I don't think therapy, in essence, is geared towards men. So I don't believe we have mental health that is effective for men, because men rather have a way of therapy in that it's actually have solutions, while women prefer therapy. I want to say prefer, but therapy for women is usually an echo chamber or a view of emotions. You know, because for women, it's more validating to just listen, okay, than just say things, right? Give solutions. While men, they want solutions. They want solutions. You tell me, oh yeah, I get it. You're sad. Oh my God, I know that your parents, your mom did this to you. I get it. Oh, your dad was terrible. It's so terrible. Okay, great. Now what? What is the solution? While women, it's just it's just a good thing to listen.
Average, 7.2. Total, 13.9.
You're missing why women choose lower-paying fields, because we've been socialized from birth to be caregivers and nurturers while boys get pushed towards STEM. Those single women out-earning men only last until they have kids, then their careers tank while fathers get a daddy bonus in pay. And yes, men kill each other more, but
A daddy bonus? That is not factual. What the heck is a daddy bonus? I've never heard of that. And here's the thing where in my honest opinion, here's the thing where in Scandinavian countries, the most egalitarian of all countries in the world, right? Scandinavian countries, the most egalitarian countries in the world, right? There's no one pushing you to do anything. Women still, right, focus on careers that focuses on humans. Men still focus on careers that focuses on things. So no, that argument is wrong. Because this is a problem with a lot of feminists, right? They want to, one of the tenets of feminism is to fight against biology. I think feminists doesn't believe in biology. They don't believe in biology. They don't believe in what is maybe the human condition, maybe natural instincts. They don't believe in that.
Who's doing the killing? Other men. When women die, it's because the man who promised to love them decided to destroy them. That's not random street violence. That's intimate terrorism. You want to talk mental health?
Yeah, but where's accountability? You chose these men. This is a thing where men experience violence from random men, just from outside. Okay, while women choose the men that inflict violence onto them. You see the craziness, the disparity, the lack of accountability. Men experience more violence from just the world, right? From the world, out of men's control. Men experience more violence. For women, in women's control, women experience violence. They choose their abusers. Men don't get that choice. Men don't get that choice to choose their abusers, while women do. You are the younger one. You are the kid.
Women are twice as likely to be diagnosed with depression and anxiety, but we're told we're too emotional when we express it. Men's mental health matters, but don't pretend the solution is going backwards.
Average 7.2. Total 14.3.
What are these? I think the score system sucks.
Socialization. Women dominate universities and have every door open for them in STEM through scholarships and quotas, yet still choose other fields.
I cannot believe how she's winning the debate. Absolutely ridiculous.
In countries with the most...
I mean, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm probably biased, but it's like, again, her views aren't that strong, in my honest opinion. I mean, it does. I mean, I like to think that I will be logical enough where I will see the logic in, arguments. I can change my point of view in arguments, but it's like, I feel like that didn't work with this, but I don't know. Maybe I'm blindly biased.
Gender equality like Norway, gender differences in career choice actually increase, not decrease. The daddy bonus happens because men work longer hours and take more responsibility after kids. Women opt...
That's not a bonus. Taking on more responsibility isn't what you call a bonus, right? It's like you're working yourself more to death. Men have more workplace deaths, right? Men push themselves harder in workplace. Men die quicker than women. You're talking to a bunch of oldies.
Often choose flexibility over pay. You admit women are diagnosed with depression more, but somehow that proves men have it easier? Women get endless therapy, support groups, and societal sympathy. A depressed man gets told to shut up and provide. Male-on-male violence doesn't erase the fact that society treats men as expendable. When men die, it's Tuesday. When women die, it's a national crisis.
Average 7.4. Total 21.3.
Let's talk about who's actually creating these problems. Men commit 96% of homicides, 87% of violent crimes, and 98% of sexual assaults.
Let's say this, right? These stats usually by the same criminal, right? A lot of times, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to crimes, it's usually men that commit multiple crimes. Okay, so usually, let's say hypothetically, a man that commits this crime, commits that crime, in all these different categories, he commits multiple different crimes. So it's like one man committing multiple crimes. Adds to the statistics. Here's the insanity, all right? I always like to say this. Yes, men make up, right, or whatever percent of men do most of the crimes, right? but doesn't mean that most men do most of the crimes. Or it doesn't mean that men do most of the crime. It doesn't mean most men do all the crime. I hope you guys got that.
The reason women's deaths make headlines isn't because society values us more. It's because we're being systematically hunted by the people closest to us. A woman is more like
By the people you chose. This is why it's lack of accountability. You chose said people, while men experience violence from strangers, from people they don't know, from people they didn't choose. So men had no choice in those violence, right? Men had he had nothing to do with it. A lot of times he couldn't, it's not like he chose his abuser.
likely to be killed during pregnancy than die from pregnancy complications. When a woman tries to leave an abusive relationship, that's when she's most likely to die. Men aren't killing themselves because society doesn't care. They're killing themselves because toxic masculinity taught them violence is the only way to solve problems, including their own pain.
Average 6.7, total 21.0.
You're doing exactly what feminists always do. Blame everything on toxic masculinity. Like it's some magic explanation. Men commit more violent crime because they're biologically more aggressive and take more risks. The same traits that built every bridge and skyscraper you use. But here's what's really happening. Feminism destroyed the social structures that channeled male energy productively. Marriage rates are plummeting. Birth rates are collapsing. Men are checking out of society entirely. Women.
And you know what? That's the thing where, as terrible as it sounds, you know, and I admit it sounds terrible, but to keep, okay, it does sound terrible. To keep men in, hey, DA, you see Chow Time videos? This is a thing where, you know, Chow Time, I try not to watch his videos. I try not to watch other creators' videos because I don't want to seem like I'm copying or, absorbing their ways of talking or their I don't know, train of thought or opinions. For me, it's like, and before I created a channel, I watch a whole lot of other creators. But now that I'm creating content, I hold back on watching other people's content, particularly in the same field, right? Because I don't want to feel like I'm being influenced by other people, right? By other male content creators. So I mean, I like the guy, right? In the beginning, early on, like a year or two ago, he did a reaction of a video of mine. So he was a very early time supporter of mine. So I love the man. He's an awesome guy.
Are more medicated, more anxious, and more depressed than ever, despite having unlimited freedom. If feminism was supposed to make women happier, why are they popping antidepressants at record rates while swiping through dating apps looking for commitment that never comes?
Oh, I forgot what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that a big problem, okay, and it does sound bad, is that, well, one of the outlets for average men is women. Dating, marrying, and creating a family, and providing and protecting. That is Spacious. What's up, my brother? Thank you for stopping by. That is the biggest, the number one outlet for men. Okay, women. As you know, as maybe terrible as it may sound, but that is a societal truth. It is reality. And now in 2024 and 2025, in 2025, men don't have that kind of outlet like that. Women are more selective than ever. So most men don't have that as a goal or a path to take. So, you know, it's a detriment to society.
Average 6.8, total 28.1.
You're confusing correlation with causation. Women aren't depressed because they have rights. They're depressed because they're still doing the majority of housework and childcare while also working full-time jobs. We call it the second shift.
Yo, Artie, what's up, my brother? Yo, Artie, you know what? I mean, I do admit, okay, that sometimes your connection is pretty terrible, right? You go in and out sometimes with your audio. So I would love, you gotta check that out, my brother. I don't know why, but watch the stream again, okay? Watch the Watch yesterday's stream again, and you'll see that sometimes you go in and out with your connection. So I admit that it makes it hard for you to have a smooth sentence sometimes. So check that out, my brother.
And those dating apps you mentioned? They're dominated by men seeking casual sex while women still want relationships. The hookup culture isn't what feminism fought for. It's what male
But it's what women created. Okay.
design technology platforms optimize.
Male design. What is it? I think was it Bumble or Hinge? It's either Bumble or Hinge. I think it's Bumble. A woman created that. I believe this is a thing where women have a hand in creating these things. Either they created it or they have a hand in creating it. So no. And I've said this before. The world before feminism, right? You can't blame it on men because essentially women didn't really have a hand in shaping that world. But the world after feminism, women have either 100% or the majority of shaping said world. So no, I believe hookup culture is thanks to feminism. It's thanks to women. I believe men's content is thanks to women, right? So I believe feminism have created the cascading effect of all these changes.
For. But let's talk about what really makes women's lives hell. Having our reproductive choices controlled by male politicians who've never experienced pregnancy, childbirth, or the economic reality of raising kids alone when men abandon their responsibilities.
Average 7.0. Total 28.0.
Second shift, women choose jobs with flexible hours, while men work the overtime that actually pays the bills. The average man works 8.4 hours daily versus 7.8 for women. And you just proved my point about dating. Women want commitment, but spent decades telling men that marriage is oppression. And
that's the hypocrisy, okay? So women want commitment, yet studies have shown that women actually get bored quicker in long-term committed relationships. Studies have shown that modern day women get bored quicker in long-term stable relationships. Bored quicker than men. And then you see all these women saying they're happily single. You see all these women actually participating in hookup culture. Are women actually, complaining about commitment? It's like this is the hypocrisy and the confusion that women create.
And casual sex is liberation. Now you're shocked that men adapted. Women on dating apps reject 95.
Men adapted. That is the key, okay? Women have changed. Women have changed society. The only thing that men have not changed. What men have done is adapted. That is the key. We haven't changed. We adapt.
% of men, while the top 10% of guys get all the matches. Women created a sexual marketplace where average men are invisible, then complain about the consequences. You can't spend 50 years destroying the institutions that made men invest in families, then act surprised when they stop investing.
Average 6.5.
What a bunch of BS. 6.5? All these fucking like these apps are like leftist apps. All these ChatGPT shit are like leftist or all these these AI models are leftist created. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Total 34.6.
You're rewriting history. Feminism didn't tell women that marriage was oppression. It told them they didn't have to stay in marriages where they got beaten or treated like servants. The divorce.
That is oppression right there. You just said it. And this is the insanity. Do you assume the majority of marriages where they're getting beaten and used as servants? Absolutely ridiculous.
Divorce rate spiked when women finally had legal and financial ways to escape bad marriages. And this sexual marketplace you're describing? Men created dating apps optimized for hookups, not relationships. Women didn't design Tinder to swipe through faces like a catalog.
Well, women designed Bumble, and it's no different. Oh, no, was it Bumble? Yeah, women designed Bumble, and it was a woman CEO created Bumble. I think they're making a movie out of her, too. I believe so. So that is insanity.
The top 10% of men you mention are getting matches because they're offering what these platforms reward: looks and casual sex.
Yes, but again, Where's the accountability? Women swipe on it.
Women rejecting 95% of men isn't female supremacy. It's women finally having standards after centuries of being told any husband was better than none.
What? That means it shows you that you are rejecting men. So it shows you that you are, because your standards are supposedly getting higher, you are now like having you are now being very selective and picking the top tier men. Fine, it's cool. But again, it shows you that women still value the old school, at least a lot of the what is it, standards of the past. It's just to a higher degree. So women, honestly, I don't know why they fought it, but now they just made it worse.
Average 6.6. Total 34.6.
Standards or delusion. When 80% of women think they deserve the top 20% of men, that's not having standards. That's mathematical impossibility. Yes, women can leave bad marriages now, but they're also leaving good ones at unprecedented rates.
Exactly. Exactly. I believe the majority, okay? The majority of divorces, and this is a controversial opinion, majority of divorces are women being bored. Women leaving because they're bored, because, the grass is greener, looking for the grass is greener, because they think they deserve better, because they've fallen out of love with a man. So no, it's not because women are leaving because of abusive relationships. I believe it wasn't even like that in the past. Yes, do I disagree that there aren't abusive relationships? Yes, I believe there have always been abusive relationships. I just don't believe that's the majority. I believe that's the minority of relationships. Right? Women are now having a freedom to leave marriages that they are bored of, to leave marriages where they fell out of love with a man, to leave marriages where, you know what, they think that they can find better.
2/3 of divorces are initiated by women, often citing unhappiness rather than
Often citing unhappiness. That is the thing. You can cite why you divorce. I believe the majority of citing like irrevocable differences is unhappiness.
abuse. The result? 40% of children grow up without fathers, which correlates with every social pathology you can measure. Meanwhile, a generation of average men have given up entirely. They're not dating, not marrying, not even trying. You call it having standards. But when society tells the bottom 80% of men they're worthless, don't act shocked when they check out and leave you to run everything yourselves.
Average 6.5. Total 41.1.
So your solution is to go back to when women had to accept any man who'd have them? Those good marriages women are leaving often involved men who did nothing around the house, showed no emotional support, and treated their wives like live-in housekeepers. If men are checking out,
Actually, studies have shown that today, I mean, in recent years, and maybe a couple of decades now, more and more men are taking up a good amount of the, domestic load, childcare. So that isn't true. Okay, men are taking up a good amount of cleaning, cooking, childcare. Men are doing more and more of it. Hell, there are statistics that have shown that, let's say, black fathers are the most active fathers around. So, I mean, fathers are being active in their children's lives.
because women finally have choices, that tells me everything about what kind of partners they were offering. A quality man doesn't become worthless
Okay, so now that women have choices, all women want to share the same man.
just because women can say no. The men who are thriving in modern dating are the ones who developed actual personalities, emotional intelligence, and life skills beyond just having a paycheck.
That is a lie, right? The men that are thriving in relationships or in the dating market isn't because he has emotional intelligence, life skills. No, probably a paycheck and good looks and charm.
If 80% of men can't compete when women have standards, maybe the problem isn't women's expectations. Maybe it's that mediocre men are finally being exposed.
Average 7.6. Total
The fuck? What the hell is these ratings? Is like fucking garbage. Absolute garbage. Stable and loving is just useless now, I guess. Yes, it is. Stable and loving is useless. It is. And these scores are fucking ridiculous.
42.2,
Emotional intelligence is just feminist code for making men act like women. You want men to be sensitive listeners who share feelings, but you also want them to be confident leaders who
Oh, the scoring is how effective, how good, how logical each person's debate is, right? Each person's I don't know, evidence or they're debating, right? So that's what it is, and I think the scoring is fucking off, right?
take charge. You want them emotionally available, but not needy, ambitious, but not absent, strong, but not aggressive. These aren't standards. They're contradictory demands that change based on your mood. Meanwhile, the mediocre men you're dismissing are the ones fixing your plumbing, delivering your packages,
God damn, this man is this guy's doing well. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. All these other AI chats are like fucking like feminists themselves. I don't know why. It's weird. Because like you're like literally the things he's saying, he's actually contradicting her, right? He's actually showing her hypocrisy. He's actually, right, making logical assertions to her arguments. I don't know. I think it's good. So I think her fucking thing is stupid. It's being robbed.
and keeping the lights on. Society doesn't run on the top 20% of charismatic guys. It runs on ordinary men doing ordinary work.
Fuck yes. The plumbers, right? Plumbers, electricians, right? The plumbers, electricians, carpenters, builders, fucking sewer workers. Societies is built on these men, the backs of blue collar men. So you think these are mediocre men? Just because what? They're blue collared? Just because they work with their hands? Just because they have to sweat for their money? Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely ridiculous.
When you tell the majority of men they're worthless unless they become perfect specimens, don't be surprised when infrastructure starts falling apart.
average 7.4, total
Should be
48.5.
higher.
You're creating a false choice. Emotional intelligence isn't acting like women. It's basic human skills that help.
No, but when women define emotional intelligence, then it is acting like a woman. When women define emotional intelligence, it's acting like women. In my opinion, right? Emotional intelligence is controlling your emotions, right? Learning how to regulate your emotions correctly, right? Understanding your emotions. Understanding emotions, right? Knowing not to get angry, knowing what it looks like when people are getting angry, right? That's emotional intelligence. Yeah, I think check out Artie because he does a pop the balloon one, right? Check out Artie. Whiskey, my brother. Anyone here ever been to Taco John's? I've never heard of that. Where's Taco John's at? Thank you for the donation.
In every area of life, including leadership and relationships. The military teaches emotional regulation because it makes better soldiers. Successful CEOs have high emotional intelligence because it makes them better leaders. And let's talk about contradictory expectations. Women have been told to be pure but sexy, ambitious but not threatening, independent but not intimidating, maternal but not boring for centuries.
I don't know what you're talking about, independent. Men have never desired women to be independent. It's other women pushing out that BS. Men are not desiring women to be independent. So that's ridiculous. Maybe the sexy part. Okay, I could see the logic in that. It is a bit of off where, oh, you want to be ladylike but sexy. I get it.
At least men's contradictory expectations come with economic power and social respect. When women don't meet impossible standards, we're called failures. When men don't meet them,
What impossible standards? What impossible standards are like women don't meet? That's the insanity. What impossible standards? Hell, men's standards is just be a decent person to him. Right? I mean, some men, maybe a lot of men, cooking and cleaning, but that's kind of like a very common trait in a lot of women.
They blame feminism and check out of society entirely.
Let's play that again. Well, what?
Relationships. The military teaches emotional regulation because it makes better soldiers. Successful CEOs have high emotional intelligence because it makes them better leaders. And let's talk about contradictory expectations. Women have been told to be pure but sexy.
Okay, I agree with this one. Women pure but sexy. I get that one. I give her that one.
Ambitious but not threatening.
No one has told women to be ambitious. Like men have never encouraged women to be ambitious. Women, right, encourage women to be ambitious. Right? That's the modern feminism, right? That the strong, independent women shit. So no, men don't encourage women to be ambitious because here's the thing: men don't give a shit about women's ambitions. It means what? It means nothing to a man because men don't benefit from it. So women being ambitious means nothing. It means nothing. Okay? So ambitious, stupid.
Independent but not intimidating.
Again, men don't ask for women to be independent. Men have always known that you got to provide and protect women. So you being independent is terrible for someone to provide and protect for you. Okay? So no, men don't ask women to be independent.
Maternal but not boring.
What? Boring? When do men complain about women being boring? That's not a thing. And how's that even contradictory? How's maternal and boring is contradiction? It's usually maternal or, I don't know, childless. That's usually the thing. Absolutely ridiculous. Use a stupid ass argument.
For centuries. At least men's contradictory.
And Artie said it's right. In fact, women's ambition is hurting relationships. It is. Women's ambition is actually stopping them from being in relationships.
Expectations come with economic power and social respect. When women don't meet impossible standards, we're
Again, what impossible standards?
called failures. When men don't meet them, they blame feminism and check out of society entirely.
What? Men are called failures. Incels, those are failures. What the hell is, like, that's ridiculous.
Average 6.9. Total 49.1.
You completely ignored my point about ordinary men keeping society running because you can't defend it. What happens when they quit? Japan and South Korea are finding out. Collapsing birth rates, economic stagnation, entire industries struggling to find workers. In the US, we're already seeing it. Construction, trucking, manufacturing, all facing massive worker shortages. But instead of
Evil Eddie, my brother, thank you for stopping by.
asking why men are checking out, we double down on telling boys from kindergarten that their natural energy and competitiveness are toxic. Boys are failing at every level of education, being drugged into compliance, and graduating less likely to attend college than girls. We've spent 30 years treating masculinity like a disease, then wonder why we're running out of men willing to build the world.
Average 7.4. Total
Should be higher.
55.
I mean, maybe I'm biased, right? I don't know about you. Tell me, I mean, maybe you guys are biased too, right? But I mean, like, I hear actual logical rebuttals, right? Logical rebuttals. For her, I don't. I mean, like, I'm kind of dismantling her arguments.
0.9.
You're blaming feminism for economic trends that have nothing to do with women's rights. Japan
Again, okay, it's not feminism is not purely about women's rights. I'm sorry, modern day feminism is not purely about women's rights. It's about the deconstruction, the destructions of what society has been. Women view society pretty much patriarchy, right? Pretty much everything, dating, politics, I don't know, economics, pretty much everything they view as something that it needs to be dismantled. That is the feminist ideology. Okay, I'm sorry, it's no longer about women's rights. It isn't. It's no longer about women wanting to be equal because essentially they are. Okay, essentially women are equal to men. So it's not about women's rights. It isn't. It's about dismantling what they deem as the patriarchy.
Japan and South Korea's problems stem from overwork culture, economic stagnation, and impossible housing costs, not women having careers. American worker shortage.
It actually is, because here's the thing where with women adding to the working force, and we're seeing this in all these other countries. We've seen it already in the US. Women's addition to the workforce, it has stagnated wages because now there's so many workers. You try to balance out the wage instead of increasing it. Same thing with other countries. Okay, because now there's an added amount of workers to the workforce. Bosses don't. So instead of hypothetically hiring one person at let's say $100 an hour, right? Hiring one person at $100 an hour, he's going to hire 10 people, right? Half, I don't know, half men, half women, and now I don't know, pay each $20 an hour, right? So that's the kind of logic I'm talking about. So technically, women have damaged the workforce. I mean, probably not purposefully, right? Not consciously, but they have subconsciously destroyed the workforce by adding more workers to the workforce. Actually, adding a quick amount of workers. It didn't stabilize, right? It just like a lot of people now you're in the workforce. So that's why housing shortage, right? Because now women. Here's the thing where when back in the day when people had houses, they had family, right? So imagine in today's single women are buying a lot of houses themselves. Imagine that. Just by themselves. Now combine that when men get married, right? That's when they buy houses, or some few single men buy houses. That's three separate, people that are buying houses. So that's why you get housing shortage. It's such a the demand is not meeting the supply, because back with the supplies, it was about families buying houses. Now we have a bunch of single people buying homes, predominantly a lot of women buying homes.
In construction and trucking exist because those jobs offer terrible pay, no benefits, and destroy your body by age 50. Men aren't avoiding these careers because feminism hurt their feelings. They're avoiding them because better opportunities exist. As for boys in education, maybe the problem isn't that we're drugging masculinity, but that our schools were designed for an industrial economy that no longer exists. Boys aren't failing because teachers hate masculinity.
Then it don't make sense. Then why are women succeeding? If schools were see that's a very faulty logic. If schools were designed for a industrial economy that no longer exists, yet women are succeeding, why is that? That don't make sense. That argument doesn't make sense. Additionally, feminist-based policies prioritize diversity over merit, and I agree. In hiring and promotions led to inefficiencies in some industries, hampering productivity. I agree. Exactly. I agree.
They're failing because sitting still for 8 hours and memorizing facts doesn't work for anyone anymore.
But again, women are succeeding. You said it doesn't work for anyone, yet women are succeeding. That kind of defeats your argument. Okay? So how see that's why her argument is failing. Why is it women succeeding? If she say facts, memorizing facts is not working. She says, schools are created for the industrial economy, yet that's not existent. So that's why men are failing. But why are women succeeding? See, that don't make sense. Because if these two factors are why men don't succeed, why are these two factors women succeed? You see the kind of the insanity in this robot's logic?
Average 7.2. Total
That was
56.3.
weak.
If schools don't work for anyone anymore, why are girls thriving while boys
The fucking shit. What did I say? What the hell did I say? What did I say? Booyah! Booyah! Look at that. My brain is like AI. My brain is like AI. I'm just playing. I'm just playing around. But you see, this is what I'm saying, right? It's the logic. It's the flow of logic. Because that doesn't even make sense. Okay? She's AI. And that shit doesn't even make sense. So when you pipe in feminist logic, right? When you pipe in feminist logic to fucking robots, even they can't make it make sense. Even robots cannot make women's emotional logic make sense. Because it doesn't. I'm sorry. Women don't fucking make sense. They don't live in reality. Okay? Women live in what they want it to be, right? The women live in a world that they want it to be, instead of a war that what is, right? What's basis, right? What's grounded. Women don't. So even fucking robots cannot process women's logic in a logical way. Oh, fuck. Damn.
Crash and burn. Girls now make up 60% of college students, 70% of high school valedictorians, and outperform boys in reading by margins equivalent to a full year of learning. Boys are twice as likely to be diagnosed with learning disabilities, 3 times more likely to be suspended, and represent 80% of high school dropouts. This isn't about industrial design. It's about actively suppressing everything that makes boys, boys. We eliminated recess, criminalized roughhousing, and turned normal boy behavior into disorders requiring medication. Girls sit still and follow directions better, so we rebuilt education around that model and called boys defective when they couldn't adapt.
Average 7.7. Total
That should be a fucking in the 8s. That should be in the 8s.
63.6.
You're right that boys are struggling in schools, but you're wrong about the cause. Those education policies you're blaming on feminists, they were implemented by male superintendents, male principals, and male politicians. Zero tolerance policies came from tough on crime mentality, not feminist ideology. The real problem is that we've never taught boys emotional.
But again, okay? But again, you said it. It was created by men, right? It's all created by men. Women are succeeding. That's the thing. So again, let's go back to all the way to the beginning, right? The patriarchy. A society created by men, right? For men. Is it? It isn't, right? This right here shows you. And she even said it, right? Male politicians, male principals, male all this shit. Yet men are failing. While women are succeeding in this male-created society. What does that say? Is it really created for men? It really isn't. And here's another opinion too. I believe more women are actually in the education field than men, at least in modern day. In modern day times, more women are in education field than men. They're actually missing. Let me double check. Oh, no. Okay, look at this. By data, right? Data from the National Center of Education, statistics show that the majority of principals in America and private schools are women, with 56% of public school principals women, 63% of private schools women. Seems like women are dominating the education field. Yo, OG, what's up, my brother? Women definitely don't understand. Not even AI women.
Regulation or conflict resolution. We just told them to suppress everything until they explode. Instead of blaming teachers for medicating disruptive behavior, maybe ask why boys are more disruptive. Girls aren't naturally better students. They're socialized from birth to be compliant and people-pleasing. The education system is broken for everyone, but at least girls aren't shooting up schools when they can't handle the pressure.
You know, this is kind of stupid, right? boys aren't shooting up schools too. This is a thing where we need to stop. Like I believe. Let's see. I mean, like I think this is stupid, right? I'm trying to. Okay, so by okay, so since 2018, okay, according to Education Week, there's been 229 school shootings. So let's hypothetically, right? Hypothetically say that there's been 229, and I don't think it's all little kids. I wouldn't say that. But let's say this, it's 229 boys, right? Let's say that. 229 boys. That is a let's see. Doesn't say how many boys there are in the US. But again, hypothetically, we say 229 boys have done school shootings. That's nothing. To the amount of boys that are in America, that's nothing. So really, you can't say, oh, if boys are doing not doing well in school, they're doing school shootings. That's such a misleading, such a dishonest argument.
Average 6.3. Total 62.6.
Did you just dismiss boys' educational collapse by saying at least they don't shoot up schools? That's exactly the callous attitude I'm talking about.
Ooh, damn! That man, this robot is on fire.
Boys are struggling, falling behind, and checking out of society, and your response is basically shut up before you become violent. Those male administrators you mentioned, they implemented feminist ideas about eliminating competition, pathologizing aggression, and treating traditional masculinity as inherently problematic. The entire educational establishment embraced the
Participation awards. Participation awards, right? I think that was a detriment to society.
notion that boys needed to be fixed to act more like girls. And guess what happens when you systematically fail an entire generation of boys? You get exactly the social problems you just mentioned. Isolated, angry young men with no stake in society's success.
Average 6.6. Total 70.2.
You're right that boys are struggling, and I shouldn't have been dismissive about it. Both boys and girls are victims of rigid systems that don't serve anyone well, but your solution seems to be bringing back the same traditional masculinity that created these problems in the first place.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Again, boys were thriving, right? Thriving during the whole whatever before feminism. Boys were thriving. This is the insane. You can't say that it created these situations in the first place. No, because again, men didn't change society. Boys were thriving during, let's say, the age before feminism. Boys were thriving before the age of feminism. So you can't say that it's because of these, I don't know, old school mindset. No.
The don't cry, be tough, emotions are weakness mentality that leaves men unable to process feelings except through anger. Here's a systematic failure that's happening right now. Women are bleeding out in emergency rooms because male politicians decided our medical care for us. Doctors are watching women die from treatable.
Did you just talk about how school boys are failing in education and then bring it back to women dying because of abortions? God damn, like seriously.
Conditions because they're afraid of legal consequences. You want to talk about
Oh, mead? No. This is just water, but it's a Viking cup, right? I got this. It's called the Wild Bill craft beverages. I've got this. I've gotten a cup every time I went to comic convention. All right, so it's not mead. I don't really drink.
Society failing people? Women are literally dying because men in suits decided they know better than doctors about pregnancy complications.
Pregnancy? Literally, you skip the topic, and now you're talking about pregnancy and abortions.
Average 6.9. Total 69.5.
You're doing exactly what feminists always do when losing an argument. Pivot to abortion, as if it's the trump card that ends all discussion. Those aren't male politicians controlling women's bodies. They're elected representatives implementing policies their constituents voted for, including millions of women who are pro-life. Half of women oppose unrestricted abortion access. But let's stay focused on the systematic destruction of boys
Yes, stay focused. Even an AI woman can't stay focused.
we were discussing. You admitted boys are struggling, but then blamed it on traditional masculinity. Boys aren't failing because they were taught to be tough. They're failing because we eliminated everything that helped them succeed. Competition, physical activity, clear rules, and yes, the expectation that they'd grow up to be responsible men who protect and provide for families.
Average 6.1. Total
What? He went back on topic. His argument was good.
76.3.
You're right that I pivoted too quickly. Both issues matter. But your solution of training boys to be protectors and providers is exactly the problem. That narrow definition of male worth is why men kill themselves when they lose jobs or can't financially support families.
No, it is giving men a clear direction in life. This is the problem. I've said this countless before. I think young men are suffering from a very confusing, directionless, guideless life. Young boys, young men don't know what to do in life. They don't know. Because here's the thing where they don't know that, okay, let's say if they get a tech job, a science job, whatever. That don't necessarily mean that they will get a family. That don't necessarily mean that they will, what would they use it for? Men are not necessarily desiring to have huge amount of wealth just to have wealth. Men have wealth so they can, get women. That's essentially why men do shit. So again, the traditional roles of men had gave men a clear direction. You get a job, you can find a woman, right? Because you can provide and protect for her. But now it's not like that.
Boys don't need to be taught they're only valuable if they're useful to others. They need to be taught they have inherent worth as human beings. Yes, bring back competition and physical activity, but don't tie it to outdated gender roles. The boys thriving today are the ones learning collaboration alongside competition, emotional skills alongside physical ones. You're essentially arguing that boys can only succeed if we go back to treating them like future ATMs and bodyguards rather than complete human beings.
But here's the thing. Women still treat men like that. That's the problem this is the problem with a lot of feminist ideology, where they don't understand natural shit, right? Women will still view men by their physicality and their resource gathering. That is honestly, I believe, naturally in women, to view men by their physicality and their resource gathering, right? Again, that's an important thing. But now the problem is that now women want top tier physicality. Women want high level resource gathering. Okay? Before, being average could get you an average woman, right? Being average can get you an average woman. Now, average women don't want average shit. Average women are looking down on average men. That is the problem.
Average 7.0. Total 76.5.
You've got it completely back.
Thank you, Whiskey. Thank you, my brother. I love you. And you know what? It was really cool to see to know what you look like. So thank you for joining last night.
Backwards. Men aren't killing themselves because they're expected to provide and protect. They're killing themselves because those roles have been stripped away and nothing meaningful replaced them. The highest suicide rates are among unemployed men, divorced men who've lost access to their children, and men who feel purposeless and disposable. Traditional masculine roles weren't oppression. They were meaning, identity, and social value. When you tell men that wanting to provide for their families is outdated,
Bro, you know what? It's all good, right? I always think that, it's the heart of a person as well. The heart of a person. So don't be like that on yourself. Don't be hard like that. A good person is always a treasured thing as well, right? And you are an amazing person, right?
and protecting loved ones makes them toxic, what exactly do you expect them to live for? You've created a generation of men with no clear purpose, no respected role in society, and no path to earning respect or building legacy.
Exactly. We constantly neglect. Men are very simple-minded, right? You tell men to do A, men will do A. You tell men to do B, men will do B. That is it. But now we have created a society, a world where men are confused. Men don't know what path to take that will give them essentially what they may want, i.e. a family, i.e. a mate. Again, it's only women that neglect biology. All creatures on this earth do shit so they can mate, right? Every creature on this earth do things so they can mate. That is the natural, what is it? Tenet. Natural thing of all creatures on this earth. And only women want to fight against nature. It is women.
Then you act shocked when they give up entirely.
Average 7.3. Total 83.6.
Yeah, I think it's a natural instinct, right? Everyone, all creatures on this earth wants to mate and survive. That is it. That is the basis of all, instincts of all creatures. Yo, Trooper, what's up, my man? What's up, my man?
You're touching on something real about purpose and meaning, but you're romanticizing roles that were actually prisons. Traditional masculinity didn't just give men purpose, it trapped them in narrow boxes where they couldn't show vulnerability, couldn't fail, couldn't ask for help. The emotional repression you're calling meaning is exactly what leads to those suicides you mentioned. Men weren't allowed to process divorce, unemployment, or failure in healthy ways. And let's be honest, women also lost their traditional roles as wives and mothers being their only identity, but we adapted and found new sources of meaning. The solution isn't...
Yeah, you adopted men. This is the insanity. Yeah, you stripped, you threw away the identities that women used to have, and you adopted men's. More women than ever have turned into the men that they want. More women than ever have turned into the men that they themselves want to date. This is the thing where this AI bot is not talking about. Women have thrown away the identities of women of the past, the roles of women of the past. Guess what? What roles have they taken? They have taken up men's roles, right? They have become the men that they want to date. They have become the men that they want to marry. So women have now, fall into the roles of men.
forcing men back into...
This is the problem. Women have the nuance thing is sometimes very idiotic in my opinion, right? And women love talking about nuance because women think that there's so many roles of society, right? Because now women have so many, they try to push out so many fucking genders, so many orientations. And that's the insanity of it, right? Society is very strict. It's very strict in its roles. But because of humans' evolution, humans thinking, now we're trying to create more. We're trying to push out more. And that is the insanity we're creating in this world. I believe that, majority of the time, it's very strict. There's very clear roles for everybody. Yes, there's exceptions. Yes, there's differences, but majority of the time, generally, there's very clear roles. Right? There were clear roles for women. There were clear roles for men. Now, women have thrown away their clear roles in the past, trying to go into the roles that men have taken up. And since women have taken up a lot of roles that men do, men don't know what to do. It's not like men can take up the roles of women, because even if men do, right, become like housemakers or domestic work, women will still find that unattractive.
Provider are protector boxes. It's helping them develop fuller identities beyond just their utility to others.
Average 7.5, total 84.0.
That line right there proves everything I've been saying. Women lost their traditional roles but adapted. Women didn't lose anything. They gained everything. Society told women, you can be a CEO and a mother, a scientist and a wife. You can have it all, and we'll celebrate every choice you make. Meanwhile, men were told, everything you were is toxic. Providing for family is oppression. Protecting others is violence. Being competitive is harmful. Women kept their traditional roles as options while gaining new ones. Men had their traditional roles stripped away and replaced with what exactly? You want men to develop fuller identities, but every traditionally masculine trait gets labeled problematic. When women expanded their roles, society cheered. When men lost theirs, society shrugged and said, figure it out yourself.
Average 7.3, total 90.9.
You're buying into a myth about women having it all. That messaging was marketing, not reality. Women who try to be CEO and perfect mothers get torn apart by both sides, called selfish career women if they work too much, lazy if they prioritize family. We didn't gain options, we gained impossible
Who's calling women lazy if they prioritize prioritize families?
expectations. Most working mothers are doing a full-time job plus most of the childcare and housework. That's not having it all. It's doing everything. And plenty of traditionally masculine traits still get celebrated. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders who show confidence and drive. The difference is, we're asking men to add emotional intelligence and communication
Jefferson, you're drunk texting? You're crazy. What was the name you had before?
skills, not replace strength and ambition. But you're right about one thing. Society gives men less guidance on navigating these changes.
There shouldn't be, that's why there shouldn't be anything wrong. To be honest, I think that was the role perfect for women, to raise the next generation of productive human beings.
And that's a real problem we should address.
Average 7.8, total 91.8.
In this debate, the feminist advocate received slightly higher scores overall from the judges.
What a load of crap. That's such a load of crap. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I find that the judges were, it was rigged. It was rigged. I don't know. Whatever. What do you guys think? Yes, yes. I remember you said that, Artie. Women don't understand that, but they will. Really? Which name did you have? All right. So let's let's get on to some other videos. Let's get on to some other videos. Some TikTok videos. That would be fun. Mm. I think I know. I think I know. Is it Elk? Elk? Is that you, my brother? Boy, you change your name so many times. You're crazy. That's why it's hard to keep track with you, my brother. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that energy. I knew that energy. And this is the thing. This is why I try to change up with the Kendra G things, right? Not always having just Kendra G stuff. So yes, I know that. I get that feeling, my brother. Know that I missed you. Know that I missed you. Okay. All right, let's check out this video. I thought that was interesting. Yes, that's why I'm trying to cut back on the Kendra G things, because she is doing doing those strikes, so I'm trying to cut back on it. Whiskey, my brother, thank you. I'm an outlier. I'm a bit antisocial. I prefer solitude. I must have a low libido because I have little interest in mating. I guess I'm driven by thought, art, and my dogs. My brother, right? I honestly believe what more men need to understand, right? Find what fulfills you. Yes, you're an outlier, right? You are an exception to the rule, which is always good, right? It's not a terrible thing. But yes, you're an outlier. All right, let's check this one out.
And by the way, all right, this video is for the men. I need y'all opinion on this. You know, man to man, I need your opinion. Girls, tune out. I know y'all gonna listen just to be nosy because that's what girls do, but this ain't for you. We don't care what you got to say about this one, right? And by the way, I asked this question to one of my friends when I was in work. I met up with one of my boys from back home. We was in LA at the same time, and we had lunch, or it was a dinner, and I asked him the same question, and he kind of was like, he thought about it like, that's a good question.
Well, bro, I mean, you're gonna have to, try to do other pop the balloons. Good thing there's a lot of those right now. Those things are popping up a lot. I did one or two of hers way back, and it got striked, right? It got striked, so I stopped doing it, right? So I definitely would not continue with her pop the balloon stuff.
I'll ask you a question though. What do bitches actually do? I sometimes think to like who I be talking to, and I'm like, they don't really do anything. And this is like, this obviously is only going to apply if you're a dude that has it together. And he does way better than me. He owns a McLaren and everything, right? He does way better than me in life. We're just talking about on the financial aspect, right? But there's somebody who does well, take care of themselves, It's like, I asked him, what do I really need a girlfriend for? Because that's a question that I get. It's like a question that a lot of women ask me when I first started talking. I ain't had no girlfriend so long. Because I think about it, I never really thought of it because I just, what do I need one for? And I said, when you sit here and think about it, when you don't need help with your bill, when you're an adult, essentially, you don't need help. Like, I don't need help. I can clean up after myself. I can get my own food. I don't need help paying for stuff. I can wash my own clothes. I don't need the emotional, I don't, whatever you want to call it. I don't need the emotional attachment, right? I don't need any of that stuff, right? What do I need a girlfriend for?
And this is probably what, Whiskey's probably feeling too. I mean, I think a lot of men, once they reach a certain status, they probably feel the same way, right? A lot of men, once you reach a certain status, to be honest, the only thing you need women for is the companionship. I believe if you are a man that has reached a certain status, the only thing you will need women for is companionship and the creation of legacy. That is it, right? Kids. If you are self-sufficient, if you have money, this is why top tier men can throw women around, right? It's like, I don't need you, on to the next one. Because they don't. They can replace women. The things that women can provide, they can find somewhere else. Whiskey. Awesome. You made an interesting point a few minutes ago about charm, wealth, and looks. To be successful with women, you need at least two of those traits. Exactly. I do agree. You know, these are the traits that we need nowadays when it comes to finding mate. And sadly, most men don't have those, right? You either need, I said this, right? You either need charm, talking skills, good talking skills, looks, you know, which is kind of terrible because most men are unattractive to most women. Wealth. Well, about only 20% of men even make it up to six figures. So this is why it's hard for men. It's very hard for men.
Do anybody else feel this way? Like, what do I need it for? Because I'm saying, this bitch over here the other week, like, that's when my floor look all nice, this clean my floor and everything. I don't need her to do it. I could have done it myself, but she did it, right? And I'm sitting here on the couch. I'm watching YouTube. I'm trying to turn something on. She's like, well, can we watch this instead? And I'm sitting there like, but that's not, I don't want to watch that. Like, well, but you always want to watch educational stuff.
Oh, Starship said this, right? Yeah, the whole cleaning a house is a 24-hour a day job is utter propaganda. If you live alone, you can learn to keep your surroundings clean in an hour and a half a day. And here's the thing, right? Many men is like, they're not clamoring for their house to be sparkling clean 24/7, right? Every minute of a day, your house needs to be clean. It's not, right? It's going to get dusty. It happens, right? This is the emotional labor that women create. It needs to always be clean. No, it doesn't. Because I believe, honestly, even a lot of women who live on their own, it's not clean 24/7. So it's just another emotional labor that women create.
I'm just like, well, because I'm trying to like improve my life. But you don't have to always do that. And I'm just like, and I turn and I in my mind, I had this intrusive thought.
Oh, you know what? Laughing Man, here's a advice from me to you. If you want to do, you know, or let's pop the balloon, which I don't know if it's going to be good or not, because for me, I had to, I was doing some Jubilee videos. Okay. I have to block the video. Block the video. So only hear audio. So I don't know how good that would be for you, right? Especially with the pop the balloon stuff. But to get around, you know, copyrights, you block the video. So you're not seeing anything, you're just hearing. It's not that great.
I'm like, why is this bitch here? What is the benefit that I'm getting from this? And this,
admittedly, he shouldn't be calling women like that. Doesn't really help his, you know, his point, because women will just criticize you, all constantly calling them that.
This is somebody that's constantly asking for my commitment, and I'm like, what do I gain from this being my girlfriend? What do I get?
Whiskey. I mean, like, see, that there are some men that are very cleanly. Some men that are very cleanly.
That I otherwise just wouldn't get just being in the street necessarily. Do anybody else have this thought?
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, I meant Artie. My bad.
What do I gain from this? If anything, mathematically speaking, I'm losing because I'm offering her more than I'm getting in return. Thus, it kind of makes sense why almost like if you want a girlfriend, you're better off being a bum because at least you gain something from it. The girl helps you pay for stuff. She helps take care of you, does stuff for you. But if you're a dude that's self-sufficient, aka an adult, and you do all that yourself, what do you gain from having a girlfriend? And I'm thinking about, even when I've dated girls that do better than me, like in life, you know, like a doctor, a lawyer that I've talked to, a nurse, it's still the same thing. It's like we be chilling, but I don't necessarily need them for nothing, and they don't need me for nothing. So we kind of just here. It's not like I really want like kids or anything like that. I remember I stopped talking to a girl as a nurse because she was talking about she wanted kids. I was like, no, you know. And it's like, what am I supposed to want from these people? Do anybody else have this? This for the men. Do anybody else reach this dilemma that I'm having? And see, I know what the girls will say to that. They'll be like, "You don't even like her." And see, that's why I'm not talking to them. That's why I'm talking to y'all, the men, because that's a girl answer right there. Because you know that's not true, right? So it's like when I hear so many girls talking about, "Oh, there's so many great women that are doing well in life, and where are all the men?" I'm just like, well, we kind of just don't need each other.
And that is the dilemma I think we are creating now, where a lot of women don't realize that you are pushing men to be the best of the best. Okay, you want top tier men. So guess what? If you want top tier men, especially if men don't desire to have kids, essentially you want to create men that don't need you. Okay, so and essentially women don't need average men. They want top tier men, but yet top tier men don't really need women, particularly not for anything special. Besides for sex, companionship, or kids, top tier men don't need women for anything else. So, to be honest, a lot of top tier men, again, I'm talking about top tier men, they can find companionships other ways.
It's almost to me, I feel like sometimes it's more of a burden because all the stuff that
I checked that out, right? Whiskey said the Garden of Eden joke by Joe Budden. Funny reaction. Yes.
I get, like I said, I just named cleaning my floor, cleaning my shower, give me some coochie. Like I got all of that without actually being in a relationship. And I've been doing this for 10 years now. So what is the actual point of being in a relationship? Because I feel like the girls want this commitment. They want this like emotional thing where they want to be all up in your face all the time and talk on the phone and do all of this. But that's only benefiting them. It's not benefiting me. You know? I said, maybe I'm just what you would call emotionally unavailable, but it's like, what? I just know I can't be the only one that feels this way, right? And like I said, that's why I'm talking to y'all, because the girl can say, "Who hurt you?" Like, nobody hurt me. It makes no sense, just mathematically speaking, from a value perspective, to have a girlfriend. If you can take care of yourself and do all of these things yourself, it makes no sense really to have a girlfriend. The only reason to have a girlfriend, and which thus push forward to a wife, is if you want children, which I don't necessarily think I want. So let me know. And let me know, am I crazy? Do other people feel this way? Let me know. Talk to me.
What do you guys think? I think this is why the creation of the MGTOW, right, came to about, because a lot of men are feeling the same. A lot of men are feeling the same where, again, he's pretty much going MGTOW, right? He's pretty much going MGTOW. Men that go their own way. They find little need for women. Just like women find, less and less need for men, because now women are providing for themselves. This is the thing. This is why marriage rates are going down. This is why birth rates are going down. Because we have created a society where we don't need each other. We don't need each other. It's a sad problem that we're facing. You have to talk to them. You're crazy.
Let me ask you a question, though. What do bitches? I'm like,
that kind of informs how you a signal on how you feel about women in general.
Damn it.
better than me, like in life, like a doctor, a lawyer that I talk to.
I don't know. What do you guys think of that one? Let's check this one out. I thought this is, let's go to the, let's check this TikTok out. I thought it was interesting, so let's check this one out.
Looking old is one of the quickest things you will be called out for being on this app as a woman, and it speaks so much about how much society devalues and hates women for showing signs of aging. I open comment sections and see girls fighting each other for how old they look, and the girls slagging off the Love Islanders for looking old, instead of us actually fighting the capitalistic scheme which is the anti-aging industry. We live in a society, unfortunately, that devalues women as they age because so much of a woman's worth is tied to her youthfulness, and that's exactly what the anti-aging industry has capitalised off of. I mean, it's a massive market, whether that's baby Botox, fillers, even like Drunk Elephant skincare. Like, it's huge. Like, the more solutions there are to aging, the more that creates the illusion that it is a problem in the first place. And the thing is, I will never ever excuse the girls that come online and hate on other women, whether that be on like a guess my age trend or just a girl feeling pretty. I will never ever excuse them hating, but what I can understand is the fear, and I can sympathise with that fear of aging. And I understand why, because as a woman there's such a social advantage to looking young, because so much of your youthfulness is tied to your femininity, and to that your value. As a man aging in life, you seem to get older. It's kind of a neutral act, but for a woman it seems like you grow old. And I was trying to think of an equivalent to the term silver fox, because that's kind of what we use to describe older men. And why is MILF the only word I can think of that we use to describe older women that's not derogatory? But even still, that is purely tied to a woman's sexual value in a way that silver fox is not at all. And even when you look at how older women are viewed in society, not many of the words are neutral, if not even nice. I think of words like crazy cat lady or Karens, like there's not many words to describe older women. And what was so interesting, almost funny to me, is when I looked into baby Botox, which is aimed at like women my age, like 20s, 30s, as like a preventative treatment to aging. It's so often marketed as a way to stay looking natural. And that word natural is just so like ironic, because the most natural thing you could do is age, to develop smile lines, to develop wrinkles, yet this like wrinkle free, like youthful image is so depicted as natural because that is so what's expected of us now. But truly the most natural thing you can do is age, and you realise the privilege that that is as you grow older. I recently did an episode about Botox, and my friend Naomi left a comment saying that for her as a black queer woman, growing old is a privilege that not all who came before her had. Like, the act of visibly aging is not just about rejecting these societal pressures, but also honouring that privilege as a woman of growing old, and whichever layers of marginalisation come on top of that. Ultimately though, at the end of the day, that is your choice if you want to get procedures, Botox, whatever treatments, and I understand how that is empowering and will potentially propel you in various sectors of life due to the way women are favoured for retaining their youthfulness. But that whole system is only fueled by a society that rejects and devalues women as they age, and the marketing and advertising industry that is capitalised on that and conditioned us to see this as a problem that needs solved. I've deep dived this fully in the long form episode if you want a 40-minute deep dive, which is a much more deeper analysis of this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon. Looking
Evil Eddie, this is your type of woman. You are crazy. You are asking for chaos. You want that chaos. Here's my problem, right? Here's the issue I have with stuff like this. Here's the issue I have with stuff like this. After this reaction, I'm gonna do it, okay? After this reaction, I'm gonna do it, Whiskey. So here's my problem I have with this, where women seem to not understand essentially what the title, right? Women don't understand what is. They want what should be, okay? What should be, or what they believe should be. Because this is a thing where women don't understand that, yes, their beauty, their youth is important. Why? Youth comes with fertility, right? That is what I've said this before, where women's, as a sad reality as it is, women's importance is tied to their youth, their beauty, because what women give to men, youth, beauty, and womb. That is what women give to men. And that is just a fact of life, right? That is women's value. As much as women hate it, that is their value. Why? Because here's the thing where That is what women give to men. That is what women provide to men. Their body, their youth, their time, their wombs, giving kids to men. That is what they provide for men. That is what they give to men. So that is what society views as valuable. And I always say that, Red Door, what's up? What's up? This is why I always say that women don't realize their power. That is their power. And they don't take actual, or they don't view it as much of a power. Because here's the thing where, let's say the flip side, men understand we put a value on men for their resources, right? We shame broke men. We shame broke men. I see so many videos of women talking about, I would never date a broke man. Don't ever date a broke man. It's always about men's resources. And this is a reality that men do know. Men know this. If they don't have resources, if men can't provide, they're at the bottom of the pecking order. So this is the reality that a lot of women seem to not understand, or they try to ignore. That is reality. That is reality. Women's value, right? When it boils down to it, and of course, women have more values like with so many other things, right? But their main value in life is their beauty, their youth, their womb. That is how society, and just like men, right? Just like men, their physicality and their provision, right? Their ability to gather resources. That is men's value in life. That is a basic value of human beings, in my opinion. Because if a man can't protect, he can't provide, he's essentially useless. Essentially useless. That's the thing where a lot of people really negate to that kind of ideology.
Old is one of the quickest things you will be called out for being on this app as a woman. And it speaks so much about how much society devalues and hates women for showing signs of age.
Let me say this. I wouldn't say hate, right? I don't think society hates women for aging. It's a fact. I mean, but what women may view as hate is that you don't get the same attention anymore, right? You don't get the same appreciation. You don't get the same validations. You are not celebrated, right? As you get older. So it's not like, oh, I hate old women. No, it's just that you are ignored. You are invisible, because this is a problem, okay? Old women are experiencing the same thing that average men experience. Invisibility. You are invisible to the world. That's how it is. Because here's the thing where as you lose value, right? As women get older, they lose value. They become invisible to the world. Where average men, if they have no value, they are invisible to the world. That is the world. That is the harsh reality of the world. If you have no value, then you are invisible. It's not that you are hated. Okay, I think in many respects, it's not because you're hated. It's just that you're invisible.
I open comment sections and see girls fighting each other for how old they look.
I agree. That's the thing where a lot of women, because this is the thing, like Whiskey said, older women hate the fact that they don't get catcalled. It's that they don't get the attention that younger women get. But it's not because you're hated. It's because your value isn't there. Now, this is the thing where a lot of women got to understand. Value as a human being is different than value as a woman. Okay? Value of a woman that's in the dating market is different than the value of a human being. No one's hating women because they're old, right? I don't believe so. I mean, of course, there's pockets, there are exceptions. But in general, society is not hating women because they're old. Society is ignoring women because they have no value in the dating market, or very little.
And the girls slagging off the Love Islanders for looking old, instead of us actually fighting the capitalistic scheme, which is the anti-aging industry. We live in a society, unfortunately, that devalues women as they age, because so much of a woman's worth is tied to her youthfulness, and that's exactly what the anti-aging industry has capitalised off of. I mean, it's a massive market, whether that's baby Botox, fillers, even like Drunk Elephant skincare. Like, it's huge. Like, the more solutions there are to aging, the more that creates the illusion that it is a problem in the first place. And the thing is,
to be honest, I mean, I don't disagree that there are capitalistic industries that take advantage of women's insecurities. But in all honesty, uh, a lot of women got to accept that. This is why I've always said this. Okay, that why women aren't taking advantage of their power is that they are not finding the best man they can find in their youth, where they're the most valuable. This is the problem with a lot of these women, right? The older women, right? The problem with a lot of the older women is these are the single women. These are single women. You don't see married women. You don't see women that are in relationships that are so obsessed with the beauty industry. In my honest opinion, this is my honest opinion. You don't see a woman that have a man that she wants, the man that she loves, the man she's married to, the man that she's spending her rest of her life with, is so obsessed with the beauty industry because she succeeded. What's the point of like being youthful, being beautiful when you have the man that you want that thinks you're beautiful already? The problem is the pictures that she showed, I guarantee you a lot of those women are single, right? A lot of these women are still in the dating market. So a lot of these women are still competing with younger women. And that's the problem. That is the problem we are facing. A lot of these women, a lot of these older women are competing with younger women. So this is why these women want to stay beautiful, stay young, because they're trying to compete with the younger women. Stiff competition. Whiskey. It's not just women. I have no longer viable as a male semi-pro, as I was when young. I mean, yes, men do suffer from getting old too. I agree. Men do suffer from it too. But, men can make up for it in other ways, which makes them more valuable. Their physicality, right? Being physical, right? The strength of a man and providing the provisions of a man. In my tribe age is powerful. We all elder wisdom. And you know what? I don't disagree. Red Door said it, right? I don't disagree that wisdom is very powerful. Okay. But this is the problem where we don't have, this is the thing where Red Door, maybe you would agree. We have a problem with older women not passing down wisdom to younger generation, right? Older women are not passing down wisdom to the next generation. Older women are not setting example to the next generation. What older women are doing is being in competition with younger women. That is the problem.
I'll never ever excuse the girls that come online and hate on other women, whether that be on like a guess my age trend or just a girl feeling pretty. I will never ever excuse them hating. But what I can understand is the fear, and I can sympathize with that fear of aging. And I understand why, because as a woman there's such a social advantage to looking young, because so much of your youthfulness is tied to your femininity, and to that your value. As a man aging in life, you seem to get older. It's kind of a neutral act, but for a woman it seems like you grow old. And I was trying to think about,
well, because men's usefulness isn't necessarily tied to their youth, right? To be honest, the idea of men get older, there's a higher likelihood that he becomes more useful in the sense that he provides more.
an equivalent to the term silver fox, because that's kind of what we use to describe older men. And why is MILF the only word I can think of that we use to describe older women that's not derogatory? But even still, that is purely tied to
Well, you only said one word for a man, and you said another one word for a woman.
women's sexual value in a way that silver fox is not at all. And even when you look at how older women are viewed in society, not many of the words are neutral, if not even nice.
Yeah, and Evil Eddie said it, right? Yeah, they should get married and have kids in their early 20s and then hit school in their 30s. And then they can work from 40 to 80, which is a long time. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's an interesting view. But here's the thing where I think women can get married and have kids while they're in school. I mean, I've known plenty of people who do it. So
I think of words like crazy cat lady or carrot.
making it a game.
friends, like there's not many words to describe older women. And what was so interesting, almost funny to me, is when I looked into baby Botox, which is aimed at like women my age, like 20s, 30s, as like a preventative treatment to aging. It's so often marketed as a way to stay looking natural. And that word natural is just so like ironic, because the most natural thing you could do is age, to develop smile lines, to develop wrinkles. Yet this like wrinkle free, like youthful image is so depicted as natural because that is so what's expected of us now. But truly, the most natural thing you can do is age, and you realise the privilege that that is as you grow older. I recently did an episode about Botox, and my friend Naomi left a comment.
I do gotta say that women seem to not be able to comprehend. You should be getting old in a relationship, right? You should be getting old in a relationship. You shouldn't be getting old while in the dating market. That is the insanity of a lot of women. You should not be getting old while in the dating market. You should be getting old while in a relationship.
Saying that for her as a black queer woman, growing old is a privilege that not all who came before her had. Like,
I can Evil Eddie, I can see what type of women you like, right? This whole what is it? Modern feminist hippie girl.
the act of visibly aging is not just about rejecting these societal pressures, but also honouring that privilege as a woman of growing old, and whichever layers of marginalisation come on top of that. Ultimately though, at the end of the day, that is your choice if you want to get procedures, Botox, whatever treatments, and I understand how that is empowering and will potentially propel you in various sectors of life due to the way women are favoured for retaining their youthfulness. But that whole system is only fueled by a society that rejects and devalues women as they age, and the marketing and advertising industry that is capitalised on.
Here's my again. I think that we doesn't reject or devalue women as they age. I think it rejects and devalue women as they stay in the dating market. I believe that if they are aging in a relationship, or even if they are completely out of the dating market, even while single, who would care, right? Men wouldn't care. Other people wouldn't care.
That and conditioned us
And that's the thing where, right? It's teaching the younger generation. Teaching the younger generation.
to see this as a problem that needs solved. I've deep dived this fully.
I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, let's check this one out. All right, this is for whiskey. All right, this is for whiskey. This is a good line too anyway. So it's a really good line.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, "Wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die, and all our dreams come true the instant that we have them." And Eve said, "Yeah, it's just not enough, is it?" I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, "Wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die, and all our dreams come true the instant that we have them." And Eve said, "Yeah, it's just not enough, is it?"
Great line. A great line. I love that line. I have it post on my whatchamacallit? I have it post on my second channel. A great line, a great video. That is beautiful, right? Red Door said this: "My husband and I have been together for a long time. He said to me, 'We are getting old, but it's been a good journey.'" That's the thing. right? Our getting old should be within a relationship where you're sharing it with someone you're special. Our youth should be like finding that person so you can get old, so you can get be old, grow old with. It is, I thought honestly, this is why it's backwards, or this is why, society is failing, because we are telling women to, have fun, play the field, have a lot of sex while they're young, okay? And then now when they have a smaller window, right? Spend their early 20s to maybe early 30s having fun. Now they have a smaller window, right? To now compete or actually be seriously competing. That is the insanity, right? Now you have a smaller window to seriously compete. So yeah, no wonder things are hard for women. By choice. All right, let's check out this video.
I'm an attractive woman, period. And anytime I come on social media talking about a topic regarding attraction, I always get a couple people that are like, you're not that attractive, you're not that pretty or that cute, you're not the right messenger for the topic. And what people fail to realize is that attraction is deeper than just my looks. Attraction is deeper than just how somebody's face looks to you. You can have your opinion. Everybody doesn't have to think I'm beautiful. Nobody has to believe I'm attractive for me to be attractive. Attraction isn't just about bringing a man into my life or how many men find me pretty. It's more so about how easily can I manifest the things that I want and desire in my life. How easily can I garner attention just for being myself? Like, are people attracted to your aura, your light, your personality, what you do, what you don't do, what you say, how you speak, how you smell? Like, there's so much that goes into attraction other than looks that you can't just look at somebody and say like, oh, you're not pretty, so you're not attractive. I don't like your face. I don't like how you look, so you must not be attractive. That's very low IQ of you to believe that attraction is really just, oh, I like her face or I don't like it. I'm an attractive woman, period.
She's average. Here's the thing where, again, this is the problem I find with a lot of modern day women, where I think ego is hurting them, right? Their ego is a big detriment to them. Yeah, I think ego for a lot of women is a big detriment. So let's we'll break this down, right? We'll break this down.
And anytime I come on social media talking about I'm an attractive woman, period. And
see, that's the ego, okay? That's not really the humbleness. And to be honest, no, she's not attractive. She's average. Average is fine. She's going to say a whole bunch of other stuff, but to be honest, she's still average at best. So to be honest, she's not attractive, but she's average, which is okay. Big Bars, what's up, my brother? Mr. My brother. Eddie said this too. Amazing, right? I wish women like that would understand that just because men want to have sex doesn't mean anything. Exactly. She's not hot at all. She's not, but average, right? Not a bad thing. But to have the personality where, I'm attractive, period. It sounds egotistical, right? Narcissistic, in my view. And that right there is, the least you could do is be humble, right? Right there, at least the personality would be attractive, but your personality shows that that's not it. You're not even that. Your personality is not even that attractive.
Every time I come on social media talking about a topic regarding attraction, I always get a couple people that are like, you're not that attractive, you're not that pretty or that.
I think she kind of confused a bit. Attraction and attractive is kind of two different things, right? You can attract somebody, right? But being attractive, kind of different thing, right? Kind of two different things. Where later on the things she say, that probably attracts someone, but doesn't mean that she's attractive, right? So a lot of women don't seem to confuse it. Particularly, a lot of average to below average women are confusing those kind of ideology. You are not necessarily attractive, but because of other factors, you can attract.
Cute. You're not the right messenger for the topic. What people fail to realize is that attraction is deeper than just my looks. Attraction,
I don't know. I mean, it could be deeper, right? But that's, to be, this is a problem, right? Attraction starts very surface level. Attraction starts very first surface level. To be honest, this is why, for me, I've in the past, right, when the dating apps, the dating apps was a thing or starting up, this is why I like dating apps, because it got me over the hurdle of being attractive, okay? Because the dating apps, it got me over the hurdle of being attractive. Now I could just talk to women without them just pretty much being disgusted by first impressions, right? So I could just talk to them. I could, shoot messages, tell me show my personality, right? So they can see something else they are attracted to besides my attraction. So that's something that a lot of women seem to confuse with, where yes, you can, there's a lot of other things to attract somebody, but it's a barrier that you have to go across, a barrier that you have to come across first, right? You have to already try to gain that attraction. But first impressions is the thing. It's how you look. It's purely how you look.
is deeper than just how somebody's face looks.
Of course, yeah. A good game can definitely trump being ugly. But again, you have to be able to implement the game. Okay, so to implement the game, you gotta get past, right, any kind of level of attractiveness or unattractiveness. That's the thing you gotta get past. So what she's saying essentially is like the after initial, right, whether your attraction level or not, right, whatever your attraction level is not.
To you. You can have your opinion. Everybody doesn't have to think I'm beautiful. Nobody has to believe I'm attractive for me to be attractive.
To be honest, it's kind of ridiculous too, because the point is, it's kind of a silly thing a lot of women do, right? Where they just think that, okay, if I believe I'm attractive, that's it. No one needs to believe it. But then who are you attracting? If no one believes it, you're attracting nobody. I mean, unless you just want to be by yourself, which most women don't, then attraction, other people finding you attractive, is the key. Right? If no one finds you attractive, being attractive is meaningless. Yeah, I mean, like in modern days time, yes, being average is not the best thing on dating apps. But back in the day, right? Back in the early days of dating apps, women gave it a little bit more leeway, right? So you can enter, DMs or messages with women, and they gave you a little bit more leeway. Now it's all the top 20% of men.
Attraction isn't just about bringing a man into my life or how many men find me pretty. It's more so about how easily can I manifest the things that I want and desire in my life? How easily can I garner attention just for being myself? Like, are people attracted to your aura, your light, your personality, what you do, what you don't do, what you say, how you speak, how you smell? Like, there's so much that goes into attraction other than looks that you can't just...
What's up, my brother? What's up?
Look at somebody and say like, oh, you're not pretty, so you're not attractive. I don't like your face. I don't like how you look, so you must not be attractive. That's very low IQ of you to believe that attraction is really just, oh, I like her face or I don't like it. I'm an attractive woman, period.
I mean, it technically is, But again, there is other factors that go along with it. I mean, she's negating the first impression kind of thing. She's negating the first impression. Now you can do other ways, other things to, you know, attract men. But again, attraction matters. Now, I also want to think that a lot of women can, let's say, overestimate their other abilities to attract, because we have skewed the dating market, where a lot of women don't realize if you get a lot of attention from men, it don't mean that you're attractive, right? Because men are definitely very they're not very selective, right? Men are not very selective. So men wanting to have sex with you isn't the same as men actually attracted to you or wanting to be with you long term. Right? It's not the same. If men don't want to commit to you, it shows you that they're not attracted to you in any kind of facet. Right? Men having wanting to have sex with you, well, men will have sex with a lot of different type of things, right? I've seen men will have sex with like ones and twos. So it's not really a flex in women's eyes if you can attract a man. A lot of women don't realize that you attracting a man isn't a flex. However, you may think you're attracting a man. Right? It's not a flex. What is actual flex is, can you keep a man? Can you get and keep the man that you want? That is the flex that a lot of women don't realize. Can you get and keep the man that you want? You attracting men means nothing, because honestly, I've seen ones and twos and threes attract men, right? But for sex, it means nothing. So what do you guys think? All right, let's check this one out.
I went on a date on Friday, and here are 5 reasons why I will not be going on a second. First of all, I mentioned something about lab-grown diamonds in this article I read about how they're bad for the environment, they're not any better than mined, whatever. And I made it clear that I didn't know enough or remember enough about the article to explain why that is the case. And he started grilling me about it in this way that was so strange, like, well, what did the article say? Why would you say that they're worse? You think mined diamonds are better? And I was like, I didn't say mined diamonds were better, and I don't know. I just told you I couldn't explain it. If you want to go fucking Google it after this date, be my guest.
It's kind of women are unbearable, right? This is a 5-minute long video, so I probably will be reacting to it as we go, as she names these 5 reasons. But you brought up a topic that you cannot push along, right? That you cannot, keep it going. It's kind of like, and then you blame him for it. You tell him, go Google yourself. Then why the fuck even bring it up? Why bring up a topic that you would tell a man to, you know what, on your own, go look it up? What the hell is the point of the topic, right? It's like women talk about communication skills. Women talk about, having actual communication. It's like, what the hell was that kind of communication? She brought up the subject of, lab-grown diamonds are bad for the environment or whatever. Okay. Now this man is asking questions. He's interested. And now you said you don't know. Go look it up yourself. What the fuck is that then? What was the point of asking that? What was the point of bringing up that subject? How about, think of a subject that you actually want to have a full conversation about. Not just blurb up a talk about a subject that you didn't want to continue it.
And I said that. I said I'm not a know-it-all, and I don't try to pretend like I know everything. So I didn't like that he was kind of trying to make me insecure or feel stupid.
You are projecting your insecurity. He was trying to, maybe he was interested in the conversation, right? Maybe he was interested in the topic. I mean, you're surprised that a man wants to learn or a man is interested in something? You brought up said topic.
By saying something and not explaining it thoroughly. Second thing I didn't like is he kept saying things that were very love bomby, but they were subtle. He kept saying, you are girlfriend material. You like are such girlfriend material. I'm flying to Mallorca. Do you want to fly to Mallorca with me? No, I don't know you. I just met you. Why would I get on a flight and go travel with you?
Now, I don't disagree that is weird, right? I don't disagree that kind of, oh, I just got to know you, let's get on a flight and let's do stuff, is weird. But here's the thing where what makes women kind of impossible. I've seen a woman, right? I've seen a woman, first date with a man, right? He said, let's go fly somewhere, right? Let's go fly, let's do it. And she said, yes, let's do it. Now, I agree, that's dangerous and that's kind of stupid. You don't know the person. But a lot of times it's hard with why dating is so hard for a lot of men, because you don't know what woman you're getting. A lot of times you don't know what women you're getting. Oh, are you getting the woman that wants spontaneity, right? Are you getting a woman that wants adventure? Are you getting a woman that, wants, kind of insanity, spur of the moment shit? It's hard to know. It's really, a lot of times it's hard to know. Plus, maybe some women find that romantic, right? Like, oh, I'm going to take you to a vacation. I'm going to take you, jet setting. Some women do. But I do admit that I would say that is, not a good thing. But I've seen women, right? I've seen women like, fine, let's do it. Let's go crazy. So, I hate diamonds.
That is weird and dangerous. So no.
Noodles, what's up? Some women, I didn't want that, but then I want this. Yes.
And third of all, he did not pay or pick up my bill. My bill.
Third reason why she's not interested in a man, she don't want to see the second date, is that he didn't pick up her bill. This is something that a lot of women don't understand, okay? You are not traditional women. Stop expecting traditional treatment. We need to stop this. We need to, what side are you on, right? Are you on the side that you want to, destroy the patriarchy, believe in equality, feminism, women's rights, right? Are you on that side? Are you on, actually, majority of women, right? Majority of women are Democrats. Majority of women are leftists. Majority of women are feminists, right? At least the last time I've seen some statistics, majority of women are on the side of Democrats. So it's fair to say that you spout feminist leftist ideology. So, well, this is part of it.
Bill was $50. First the bills came and his stuff was on my bill and he wasn't going to do anything about it. I tested him to see if he was going to.
She should start getting cats now. I mean, might be the time. Might be the time.
That's why you will buy a dog and die alone.
Might be that time.
And be like, oh, you shouldn't be paying for my stuff. It's very hot when a man can say, I'm going to cover her bill and mine, please send them over to the waiter. Okay? Just for men, it's hot. It's hot. You're taking care of shit.
Now let's play it out, okay? She said 5 things why she won't see this man for a second date, right? She said 5 things are the reason why she won't see this man for a second date. So let's play this game. So this one thing, she said, it's hot, right? Take care of the bill. Okay. Now this man, take care of that bill, right? Let's do that. He takes care of that bill. All right. It's hot, right? All that 4 other things. You think that she would still see him? So he did something that's very hot. But would that even get him the second date? Probably won't. I mean, 1 out of 4 really ain't good odds, right? It's not good odds. So really, what does it matter? What does it matter that he did one thing that's hot? Okay? He's already on your no-go list because of at least 4 out of 5. I mean, hypothetically, right, in the universe, right, in the parallel dimension where this man actually paid for the bill. He paid for the bill. This is why women don't understand why men are not clamoring to pay for the bill anymore. It doesn't matter because paying for the bill doesn't guarantee him a second date. Paying for the bill doesn't guarantee him a kiss, a hug, not even a hug. Okay? So what's the point? What's the point? Because like I said, in a universe where he did that one hot thing, he paid the bills. She said 5 things that she didn't like about him, that she won't see him for the second date. If he only did one thing that was hot, she said, paid the bill, 4 out of 5 no-goes is still a no-go. So really, paying that bill was pointless.
That is what turns women on. Instead, he was like unsure.
Yo, big bars. I was kind of noticing that too, right? Her lip is like, I kind of made it seem like that.
If he should have them correct the bills, but then asking me for a second date. And I was like, you're going to have to fix this. So he ends up telling them blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, do you need guidance on the fact that I shouldn't be paying for your tater tots? And you can't even cover my bill. By the end of it, he didn't pay for mine. He just paid for my tater tots. I was like, okay. The 4th, I guess, if it's the 4th thing I didn't like, was that he made a comment about my clothing. He said, you wear baggy clothes. So that's not a compliment. If you told someone that, it's kind of a like, I don't know if that's supposed to be nice or not. And what I know he was trying to do was get in my head and make me insecure about what I was wearing because it wasn't revealing and tight and sexy. And I know that if there was a second date, he would hope that I show up to that second date wearing something skimpy and sexy because he planted that seed in my head. Now, if there was a second date, I would wear the baggiest clothing that I own because that's how I am. You're not going to get in my head. And
that is why a coffee date would have saved them both time. How many times, right? How many times women have used the argument, what about the money I use, right? The makeup, the hair care, the nail care, all the preparation I did, right? That's what she got to defeat your argument, right? She right here defeats your argument. So really, a coffee date would have saved them both time. She could have dressed however she wanted to dress, right? There's really no expectations on a coffee date, just to get to know each other. Again, you don't realize the creation of coffee dates. It's thanks to this mindset right here. She could have saved both people's time if she agreed or just said, let's go for a coffee date. I believe it's beneficial for women. Women should be saying, let's go for coffee dates. Let's just do coffee date. Let's do a coffee date. Let's get to know each other. Let's see if we are compatible, right? And that's it. And if she liked him, right, a lot, maybe she would actually dress up more instead of being spiteful, right? Like, I'm gonna dress even more baggy. Well, then obviously you don't like the man. So really, why even bother, right? So coffee dates. This is why the creation of coffee dates are a thing nowadays.
Try to turn me into what you want me to be. And another thing he did was he tried to make me follow him on Instagram and give him my number and was like, well, are we friends now? And I said, no, we're not friends. We just met. So no, I wouldn't classify you as a friend. A friend is somebody that you trust and you know.
Now, maybe I'm just getting this energy. She's annoying. She seems miserable. Now, I don't disagree, right? A lot of things she said, like the plane thing, I don't disagree with. You know, the closing thing, fine. I don't disagree with that. I mean, you know, him probably wanting you to wear tight clothes, I get it. Okay, I don't disagree with this. Her saying that no, they're not friends, and you know, I don't want to give you, and I don't know how they contact if she doesn't have her number, but whatever. But yeah, I can see that she's miserable. She's a miserable woman. It's not like I don't agree with her, some of her views, but she's a bee. She does. She seems like it, doesn't she? This is the energy she comes off, and like, I'm sorry. Do you think you're going to attract better men than you just attract? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to attract better than what you just got. Because honestly, you seem like a miserable bee. Now, this is also like Big Bar said, she doesn't like him. And that's the point, right? I've said this countless times before. Women are going on dates with men they don't even like. And then you wonder why coffee dates are a thing. Because honestly, modern day women, they have skipped the talking stage. This woman, right, before she even gone on a date with this man, she should have been talking to this man for a week, for 2 weeks. At least. Right? At least a week. Talking to him like every day, every other day. For at least a week. Women have skipped the talking stage. Women are no longer doing it. I don't understand. And this is why, you know, the interjection of coffee dates became a thing. Because women are skipping talking stages and going straight to a date. But they're going on dates with men they don't even like. So since you don't like him, you are miserable. You are a miserable person while on said date. So now you expect men to pay for company of a miserable person. And then you wonder why coffee dates are a thing. Talking is good, right? Whiskey's, I mean, this is the problem. I don't know why we're skipping talking stage, right? That is the part where women seem to forgotten. That is courting. The talking stage is the courting, right? You talk to the person, you get to know the person, right? You get to feel it. I think coffee dates are part of the courting dates, right? The part of the courting thing. So he was content. And that is also a sad part too. With a lot of modern day women, they are going on dates with men they don't want, they don't like. Now they can have content for it. I know a woman that's like, that's all her content. She's just go on a bunch of dates. It's like, do you never find a man, right? How can you go on so many dates yet you've not found a man?
I don't know you. So he was trying to like rush things. And let me tell you, ladies, okay? Men show you who they are. And the reason why I'm sharing this video is because he was attractive. He was cute. And sometimes, most of the time, men who are attractive get away with these tiny little covert things that they do that don't seem like blazing red flags, but are manipulative.
Oh, Eddie said that. I love that. I love that. The worst she can say is no. Actually, the worst thing she can do is make content out of you. Whoa, that is deep. I like that one.
Very subtly manipulative. So you have to be able to pick up on those tiny little things and understand what a man is trying to do. He's trying to manipulate you. He's trying to shape you into how he wants you to dress. He's trying to gauge whether you'll not have boundaries and go on trips and travel with him. He's trying to gauge how easy you are to manipulate.
You know, I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with her. There are men like that. But it's like, honestly, then I don't understand. Women should stop dating attractive men, right? And two, to be honest, I just think that I honestly think that miserable people, toxic people attract toxic people, right? I think she seems just her energy, her persona, whatever, seems like a miserable person. So I'm not surprised you would attract toxic people. Just a thought.
That is honestly my biggest take from this video for you. So just be alert, be aware of like tactics, things they say. Just protect yourself and don't fall for these tiny little fucking things.
I mean, okay, I guess. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of like a weird cycle, right? So here's a woman saying, don't fall for these things. Okay, that's fine. I get that point. It's a logical take, right? Don't fall for these manipulation. Okay. Yet you are attracted to and you go for men that would use these manipulation techniques. Then what's the point, right? It seems like it's a cycle, right? You fall for men that do you fall for men that do manipulation techniques. You tell people don't fall for it, and you won't fall for it, right? You don't want it, right? You don't do a second date with these men. Then you continue to fall for men, or you continue attracted to men that do manipulation techniques. It's like a circle, okay? And women don't actively try to break that circle. So, I don't know. I mean, kind of things where I said that women are their own worst enemy. So, what do you think? All right, let's end out on this video, okay? Let's end out on this video. I think this one will be a bit of an interesting one. All right, so let's check out this one.
So I willingly decided to become a single mom. And as somebody who had the apartment, had the brand new furniture, I brought the kids home to that apartment with my baby daddy. I chose to not settle for that life because I did not want to be in a relationship. And I chose to move back in with my mother for the time being, while I save money to get my own place with my daughters now. And there was a couple deciding factors into why I made this decision to split with my baby daddy. And the main one for that is I just did not want to be responsible for my 2 children and a grown man at the same time. I didn't want to cook for him. I didn't want to have to clean up after him. I didn't want to have to coddle and baby him and exhaust myself into trying to balance motherhood to twins and be a girlfriend. I wasn't even married. We had talked about marriage, and it took me very short amount of time to realize I did not want to get married to him. And that would have probably been the worst decision of my life. And instead of doing that, I now decided to develop a co-parenting relationship with him. And he still is able to have that relationship with his daughters. And I'm able to have this healthy co-parenting relationship with him without me having to essentially take care of him and take on this extra role that I didn't want to have to take on when I knew that I was already going to have to take on the role of being a mom. Another reason is our relationship was just toxic. It wasn't going to work. I didn't want to raise my daughters in an environment where they were going to be around toxicity. 2 happy households is way better than 1. And I truly am happy in this decision, and it's what I want. So when people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're a single mom," I'm like, don't be, because I made this decision on my own. So
Daughters plural. I mean, she has twins. This is the thing with women, right? I mean, great that she said that she's taking up kind of accountability, I guess. That she said that she made that decision. But this is the problem with she's coping. This is the problem with a lot of women, that controversial, women are the reason that society is failing. Women are the reason that society is failing. Because last night, right? Last night, we were talking about the black community. And we didn't really talk enough about certain things, which was hard. But I really wish that we did talk about single mother culture, right? That is the one thing I think single mother culture is hurting all of our whole society. Okay, I think single mother culture is hurting our whole society. It is creating a community of single mothers, right? And who's leading that community? Just a bunch of single mothers. Who's raising the next generation? Single mothers. So women are destroying our nation. And in particular, single mothers are destroying the black community, right? Single mothers are destroying the black community. I think single mothers are destroying all communities, right? Any community that's predominantly having a bunch of single moms, it's being destroyed, right? It's being destroyed. But guess what? I've experienced this, and I believe it. Single mothers raise the next generation of single mothers. Single mothers raise the next generations of future baby daddies. Because that is the image, right, of a relationship you instill into your children. Red door. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the craziness that she went with this man, but we're going to talk about that. But again, I wanted to finish up the thing where a lot of women don't realize that their selfishness in becoming a single mom is what's hurting society as a whole. It's hurting women, in my opinion. It's hurting women as a whole because, again, what man is desiring to get with a bunch of single mothers? They are the lowest hanging fruits. They are not that desired. Now, desire to have sex with, sure, but desire to, have a future with, not that highly. And they are destroying the community. They're creating the next generation of dysfunctions. So, no, it's not great. Let's break this down.
Willingly decided to become a single mom. And as somebody who had the apartment, had the brand new furniture, I brought the kids home to that apartment with my baby daddy. I chose to not settle for that life because I did not want to be in a relationship. And I chose to move back in with my mother for the time being, while I save money to get my own place with my daughters now. And there was a couple deciding factors into why I made this decision to split with my baby daddy. And the main one for that is I just did not want to be responsible for my 2 children and a grown man at the same time.
You didn't want to be responsible for your 2 children and a grown man. Okay, fair. What the fuck would you give that grown man children then? Why? This is something that a lot of women don't understand. Men look at your past for a reason. This is a man, right? This grown man that you have to take care of. This is a man that you gave the most precious thing you can give a man. Children, your body. You gave it to this man. You gave it to this man, right? You gave this man, right, the most precious thing you can give anybody. Your body, your womb, right? That man you gave it to. Now the next man you expect to be better. You expect that man to be better, right? This is how women always do it. They expect the next man they get with to be better than the last man. But the last man you gave 2 kids to and your body. Why would I be better than that man And yet that man got everything that you're giving me, right? Right? I mean, maybe I'll get kids from you. Maybe I'll get kids from you, but you gave that man kids and your body. What more? See, this is the thing. If I'm better than that man, what are you giving me better than you gave that man? What? I mean, you are more likely getting older, right? By the time you get with that man, you're older. You already have kids. You're definitely been used, as terrible as that sound, right? You are most likely more combative, more aggressive, have higher expectations. You actually become less desirable. So you're not getting better while you're choosing better, right? You're not getting better while you're choosing better. You actually become worse while you're choosing better. So that man that's better than your baby daddy, he doesn't see the value in it. And this is why the Godfather himself said, you're not getting better than your baby daddy. Because any man worth his shit, right? Any man on his journey to being the best version of himself will actually be logical enough to see that, are you kidding me? You gave that man, right? That man that's less than me, right? The man that's beneath me, all this shit. Your youth, your body, your womb, right? What are you giving me that you didn't give a man that's lesser than me? Right? That's the thing. What are you giving me that you didn't give a man that's lesser than me? Nothing. Right? Everything you gave the man that's lesser than him, you're just repackaging for a man that's better. No. That's why men that's on their shit, right? Men that's on their journey don't desire it. Now they will use you, but they don't desire to commit to you. That's a lot of things that a lot of women don't realize.
I didn't want to cook for him. I didn't want to have to clean up after him. I didn't want to have to coddle and baby him. And
did you not know what type of man he was before you gave him kids? I'm pretty sure she did, right? I'm pretty sure she did. So if you knew this man, what type of man he was before you gave kids to him, because you knew that you probably had to coddle him, you had to baby him, you had to cook and clean for him. If you knew that, why the fuck would you give kids to him? Right? It doesn't make sense. I guarantee you she knew what type of man he was before the kids. But you thought that, you know what? I already knew I already knew that I don't like this man, or I don't like shit about this man, but I'll still give him kids. So I intentionally will create broken homes. This is the problem where I believe women get with the pookies. Women get with the pookies that they know, right? That they know they won't be with. So they don't have to deal, right? They don't have to deal with men that hold a mirror to them. Right? You have to be better, right? You have to have self-accountability. You have to do self-reflection. You have to be better. Men will hold you accountable when you get with better men. When you get with the pookies, they don't give a shit, right? When you get with shitty men, they don't care. They don't care what type of woman you are. You could be a shitty woman. They don't care. That's a lot of what a lot of women do. They get with the shitty ones because they know these shitty men, they don't care. They don't hold me to the fire. They don't hold me accountable, right? They don't hold me to my words. They don't care. So I will get with men that I know relationships won't prosper.
exhaust myself into trying to balance motherhood to twins and be a girlfriend. I wasn't even married. We had talked about marriage, and it took me very short amount of time to realize I did not want to get married to him.
This is why women think so little of the responsibility of kids, so little of the responsibility of producing the next generation of human beings. This is why majority of people that are dysfunctional, right? Majority of criminals that are in our criminal system is raised by single mothers. the majority of dysfunctional adults are raised by single mothers because women don't give a shit. Women don't care about the level of responsibility that it takes to raise the next generation of human beings. She knew very quickly that she didn't want to marry him. Okay, cool, great. But you didn't know quick enough that you didn't want to give kids to this type of man. You didn't know quick enough that you didn't want to give kids to this type of man. This type of man that you think is beneath you was good enough to have kids with, wasn't good enough to marry. This is the problem with women. You are fucking backwards. How is it a good idea to raise the next generation of human beings with a man you think is beneath you, that is not good enough to marry, but he's good enough to be a fucking father? This is the problem with women, where they're giving children, right, the trauma of having terrible fathers. This is the problem with a lot of women, right? I'm sorry, 100%. I'm going to hold women to the fire. I'm going to hold women to the fire. Stop blaming fucking men, because this is the problem, right? Literally, this video has shown women are the problem. You think it's a logical thing to give children the trauma of having a bad father, a man that you don't think is worthy for you, right? A man that you don't think is worthy for you, but you think it's worthy to be the image of a man to your fucking daughters, right? You think this man, right, that you don't think is worthy enough, right? You don't think this man is worthy enough to be married to you, but you think this man is worthy enough to be the image, the first fucking image of a man, of what it is to be a man, to your fucking daughters. You are a disgusting human being. We don't hold women to the fire enough. This is the problem. This is the problem where we create generational trauma. Right? This is why women are creating the next generation of single mothers. They're creating the next generation of baby daddies. Because you, right, purposely, right, consciously are doing these shit. Yes, in the end, they made their choice. Tony, what's up, my brother? What's up?
And that would have probably been the worst decision of my life.
Yet having kids with this man is not the worst decision of your life. You are now fucking tied to this man forever. At least if you got married, right? If you got married, no kids, once divorced, you are technically not tied to this man ever again. It's like, do women not think, right? Do women not think? This is a problem when women only think with their emotions. This is the problem when women only think with their emotions. So you thought it was a good idea to be tied to this man for life through children, instead of, you know what, temporarily tied to this man through marriage. You thought that was logic. Right? You thought that was logical. Makes sense. Exactly. Right? The thing is, studies say children do better in single father homes than single mother homes. Right? It's like it's 2-parent homes, single father's home, and then single mother homes. Right? Single father's doing better. Because we teach children through logic. Right? We teach children through logic. Women teach children through emotion. That is a recipe for disaster. That is creating the next generation of highly emotional human beings. I'm sorry, highly emotional human beings is dangerous. It is dangerous.
And instead of doing that, I now decided to develop a co-parenting relationship with him. And he still is able to have that relationship with his daughters. And I'm able to have this healthy co-parenting relationship with him without me having to essentially take care of him and take on this extra role.
I can understand how, people can have, better co-parents than, actual in relationships. But in her particular situation, right? You have to understand where you don't even like this man, right? You view of this man less. You view this man less than. Do you not understand that this man will be the first image your daughters see as what is a man? You already view this man less than, right? You don't like this man. No matter how great of a father he may be, but as a man, you don't like him. Is that really a good path to take?
That I didn't want to have to take on when I knew that I was already going to have to take on the role of being a mom. Another reason is our relationship was just toxic. It wasn't going to work. I didn't want to raise my daughters in an environment where they were going to be around toxicity. 2 happy households is way better than 1.
I think she said it wrong because no, 1 household would be better than 2, right? Even if it's supposedly 2 happy households. If it was 1 under 2-parent house, right? A 2-parent household, it is better than separate because honestly, it's like you are not accurately raising the children correctly. So no, she's going about it wrong.
And I truly am happy in this decision, and it's what I want. So when people come up to me and they're like, oh,
It is what she wants. That is all it is, right? It is what she wants. It is the selfishness of women that is the detriment. It is the selfishness of women that is the detriment right now. It's what you want, right? That's what you care about. You don't care about the 2 kids that you created. Obviously, she didn't. But you only care about what you want. This is why the quote is that men will sacrifice their happiness for their family. Women will sacrifice their family for their happiness. This right here is why quote like that exists. Okay. Now I'm not saying that man is that man is a good man. No, because I don't know this man and she's not necessarily painting that man in a great light. But I'm saying that through her own mouth, it's what she wants. She cares about her happiness. She's not caring about the children's happiness. Because if she did, this is why I'll always tell. This is why it's the fallacies of a lot of women's argument. If you actually cared about the children's happiness, you would stay with the man you gave the children to, right? That you conceived the children with. You would stay with that man. You would force a fucking smile, right? You would be good. You would in public or, in front of the kids, you will make it amazing, right? In front of the kids, you will make it amazing. Closed door, you can be unhappy as you want. It doesn't fucking matter because it's about the kids, right? That's the difference. That's the difference. Tony B, in the end, we all end up paying for their social service, food stamps, rent, etc. through our taxes. Which is why this is the thing. That's exactly that's the thing where this is why a lot of women don't care. Because at the end of the day, they have government daddy, right? Daddy government to step in, to take a bit of the burden that the man would have taken. So women don't need it, right? Women don't need men, right? Either they make their earnings themselves or daddy government will step in and give them housing, give them food stamps, WIC, all this other shit. So, yeah.
I'm so sorry, you're a single mom. I'm like, don't be, because I made this decision on my own.
She made that decision on her own. Also, she made the decision throughout everything on her own. Choosing the man, having sex with that man, letting that man shoot up the club, giving birth to that man's children, leaving that man, not getting married to that man. All her fucking decisions. All her decisions. Right? It's her decision. Now, the man has part of it, but at the end of the day, she controls her actions, not the other man. So, At least she's taking, I guess, kind of some accountability, but again, in a stupid way. So, what do you guys think? All right, guys. Yabba dabba. I love it. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. All right. Thank you guys. Hope you guys liked the live, right? Hope you guys liked tonight's live, right? Tony B. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man, for joining. Thank you, my man, for joining. Noodles. Noodles, I love you. Thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for joining tonight. Evil Eddie, love you, my brother. Love you. Love you. Laughing Man, you're amazing. Red Door, thank you, my sister. Thank you for stopping by. Big Bars was here. Love you, my brother. I love you guys. Whiskey was here. You're amazing, right? Thank you for all the love. Thank you for the donation. You know, I love you, my brother. I love you. Who else? Anyone else? Elk was here, right? Elk was here early. I miss you, my brother. You know, I hope you're doing well. I know you probably left already. So thank you, Elk, for stopping by. RM, my brother. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. I love you. You guys don't understand. Artie, my brother. Thank you. Love you. Showing love. I'm very grateful, you guys, for even stopping by for a few minutes, right? Even showing love for a few minutes is amazing to me, right? I'm humbly thankful for even showing me the littlest of love, right? So I love you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the shout outs. I love to give shout outs to the chat, right? Because thank you for joining. Thank you for showing all the support. Thank you for chatting. You know, you guys are amazing, right? So I love doing the shout outs because I want you guys to know that I see you guys. I recognize you guys, right? I love you guys. Buster, you're late. You're late, my brother. You joined at the end of the stream, but still, I love you. Thank you for still even dropping by, right? Yes, if you guys want, if you guys want, please join the Discord. Please join the Discord. If you guys want, right? If you guys want, you guys don't have to. Give me a minute. I'm trying to drop the link. Give me a minute. I'm going to drop the the Discord is in the description, right? The Discord is in the description down below, but I'm going to drop the link in the the Discord is in the description. I'm going to drop the link in the chat anyway. Right? Join in if you guys want to, right? I mean, if you guys have recommendations for videos, if you guys have recommendations for videos, recommendations for topics, okay? Any kind of recommendations, you know, do check the Discord, okay? That would be a good way to send any video recommendations or any topic recommendations. I'm always open to it. So, you know, if you guys want, check the Discord out, all right? I love you guys. I try as much as I can, right? I try as much as I can, but I love you guys, right? You guys are amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. My brothers, my sisters, love you. See you guys.